This conference will now be recorded.
There we go. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for Lake Stevens Sewer District. It is a regular meeting for us. It is November 10th. We're going to call it 9:01. We had just a minor little delay, but no worries. Nothing happened in the interim. But as we go ahead and get started, all three commissioners are here. If you're not familiar with those three, it would be Commissioner Koshi up on the virtual wall. I know you can't see that, but I can see them. I've got Commissioner Wright, myself, Commissioner Lorenzen. We've got staff here from our general manager, assistant general manager, HR director, and of course we have folks on here on the virtual wall, I should say, from legal and also from our engineering firm and staff, along with folks from the city. So with that being said, let's get started by going with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Well, again, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us, whether you're in person or virtual this morning. I know that it's a little cold outside, so most people probably just want to stay in the comfort of a warm room and watch virtually. So with that being said, as we move on down, if you are following on the agenda, either electronically or with a piece of paper like I am in hand, the item we're on right now is item 3. It is the public forum aspect of it. It's an opportunity for anybody, either present or emailed or sent any correspondence in to address the Board of Commissioners, regardless of it, if it's something that we have on our agenda today. So with that, I'm going to first look to staff to see if we received anything. Nothing came in via the customer service or email. So I will look to the virtual wall real quick to see if it lights up like a Christmas tree. Or anybody's frantically waving to say, hey, I'd like to speak, but I can't figure out how GoToMeetings work. Seeing that happen, I'll look to our audience, which is just us and the staff. So I know we're going to get our opportunity to comment. So it means nothing at this point. So with that being said, and nobody jumping out of the woodwork, we'll close the public forum aspect there, move on down to item number 4, if you're following. That is the agenda approval. And look the staff to see if there's any additions, subtractions.
No changes.
Nothing on either end. I'll look to Commissioner Koshi first up on the virtual wall. If there was anything he wanted to add, subtract, he's giving me the side-to-side nod to indicate no. So then I will look to, and she verbally tells me no, so I know my place. With that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve this agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
So there is a motion on the floor.
A second.
And a second coming from Commissioner Koshi. With all that, I would go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And it has been approved. That easy. Item number 5 on the agenda today is our consent agenda items. These are items that have been previously reviewed in detail by the Board of Commissioners. There's a giant basket over at the far end. As you can see, those are the things that we did look at. So with that being said, at this time, I would look to the other commissioners to see if there's a motion on the floor to approve that.
I make a motion to approve consent items A through J.
There is a motion on the floor to approve those items A through J as previously reviewed.
I'll second.
And a second coming from Commissioner Koshi. With that being said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion has carried. We are moving on through. We're down to old business. One item on old business. It is item A, which is LS2C generated procurement proposal approval / Cummings in the amount of $110,023. And at that time, I'm going to look to my left to the assistant GM.
All right. So the purchase agreement in front of you is in response to, if the commissioners recall, in September, we had advertised for bids for the purchase of our lift station 2C upgrade generator. And we didn't receive any proposals from that advertisement. And then a contact from Sourcewell, which we're a member, it's a cooperative purchasing agency, had reached out to us and said, we may be able to help you out. So he worked with our electrical engineer and they were able to get this proposal together. So the proposal that we received is for a Cummins generator that is spec'd out exactly how we'll need it for the lift station 2C upgrade. And the cost of the generator is $110,023 and is recommended by staff and engineering for approval.
Okay. So as we see, and if you're not familiar, 2C is one of the downtown city lift stations. So it is going through an upgrade. So we have these marked differently as one time the city and the district had integrated. And so not to renumber things, we just put either a designator by a C behind it, or it was one of the previously, serviced city pump houses, pump stations. So with that being said, any questions, comments, concerns from the other board members? If not, we could entertain a motion to approve the procurement of this.
Make a motion to approve the LSTC generator for the proposal. Wait, no. Procurement, I'm so sorry.
Okay. So there is a motion on the floor to procure the LS2C generator through the proposed approval from Cummins in $110,023. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
A second has arrived. With that being said, any further discussion, comments, questions, concerns from anybody? Because, hey, we're moving through this.
We will also need authorization for the general manager to execute the contract.
Okay. So with, as staff has said, a amendment just to that, just to indicate that the general manager or designee as they see fit to sign for that.
I'll still second.
Okay, we are there. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, it's been approved. Perfect. If you're following for new business, we have none. So we're moving on down to the manager's reports. We'll start with the general manager.
All right. Flows at the plant right now are about 3.13 million gallons per day. Through the power outage, the plant also was affected, obviously. Multiple trees that were down there on the property. We also lost all of our outside vendor support in that the internet went down. So they weren't able to remote in to help us out a lot. What that means is our staff had to do all the work themselves.
Yep.
In manual, right? And so I wanted to give a huge shout out to Travis Rosencrantz, who was our acting senior down there and was on site the whole time and did really an amazing job. We didn't spill, we didn't have any problems. The quality of the wastewater going out maintained. So he did a really great job keeping us going, and pretty much every system had gone down during that power outage. So it was a big job.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. So a huge kudos to him. We did yesterday have our UV system go down for about 3 to 5 minutes. That is a permit violation, so we did report it as required by ecology. Basically, a card went down that's in the UV system, so we ordered a new part and gotten it manually operating right now, so we're no longer continuing to violate. But we were running about 2,300 gallons per minute at that time. So if you'll recall, we have membranes. So typically there's no fecal chloroform that actually gets through the membranes themselves. And the UV system is a redundant system to ensure the quality of the water before it's discharged. So we're fairly confident in the quality of the water that went out, but it's still a violation of our permit. So we've taken care of that. But yeah, huge kudos to plant.
Yeah, excellent, absolutely. Assistant GM.
So thus far, we've collected 109.138 GFCs and issued 224 permits. And I'd like to kind of piggyback off of Mariah's sentiment in that I couldn't be more proud or amazed by our field crews. They worked for 3 days, essentially, day and night working shifts to keep our lift stations running. Proud to say we had a lot of issues with emergency power and trees falling, access to a lot of our lift stations, but the crews were able to make it through the windstorm and the days after without a spill or any hiccups or serious incidents. So couldn't be more amazed by our staff. Yeah, that's all I got.
Excellent. Okay, let's move on down to the city report. I see Gene up on the virtual wall from the city of Lake Stevens. It's yours, Gene.
Great. Good morning, everybody. Much like you folks, we've been doing a lot of storm response and now storm cleanup all around town. There's a lot of debris, as most everybody has seen out there driving around. Other than that, I just wanted to thank Jonathan. He's been an amazing partner on the Costco deal. It's been a heavy lift for your agency and the city, trying to be there every day, doing inspections and try and help them meet their timeline. So at any rate, I just want to let you know, Jonathan, I appreciate your efforts, and I know that you're working with the city every day on that. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if they make their timelines. So thank you.
Thank you, Gene. Okay, if you're still following, we are on item 10, this is Commissioner's Report. I'll look to the virtual wall first with Commissioner Koshi if he has any comments, concerns, questions, or.
Yeah, just comment related to the staff on the storm work. On one hand, I'm not surprised that it went off with, without any, I guess with the duck paddling fast under the water, but on the surface, having no ramifications that cause any health or environmental concerns. On the other hand, I know that wasn't 3 typical days. I couldn't even manage my own sump pumps at my house remotely. So, I appreciate everything that went into making that work. One question around that is, all of our telemetry, I believe, is from the pump stations is wireless. Did that all stay up back to the plant? Do we know?
Not from the plant. We do have an emergency or a backup dialer at the plant, and that uses a traditional landline. And
Okay.
Yep, that was good. But our lift stations use a cellular radio, so we were good there.
Okay. So one comment in terms of getting outside vendors to the plant, given the cost and the risk and everything, I would be open to certainly looking at a similar type of 5G, backup, even redundant, AT&T and Verizon, both carrier type of thing. There's plenty of routers that will sit in the DMZ between our secured side and out there that will provide a separate path through cellular type. And now the bandwidth on that 5G stuff is so fast that it would give us another path of redundancy to our vendors if, open to looking at that if that's if we want to take that path. But that technology is certainly there, and if it worked well for our lift stations, why not have the same thing at the plant? But that's it. That's all I got. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Perfect, thank you. Commissioner Wright.
I'm just very brief, and thank you to the field, the operators, and everyone who's been working so hard, and Mariah for all your work in finance and trying to fill those holes right now, and Jonathan with Costco. So I know a lot of people are doing lots of extra jobs right now, and I see that effort and I'm grateful for it.
Thanks. And I'd just like to write on the comments the other members of the board have spoke about the great work. It was great to see. I mean, I know when I see one of our trucks on a weekend driving around doing stuff, that especially after that storm, they were out there taking care of business, and it was great to see, because I think it's a great reflection to show how well we work as an organization to get on the forefront, because I think that gives confidence to the people we serve that we're taking care of business, especially knowing how many pump stations we have around the lake and the topography that the city, and the area have to get everything over the hill down to our plant. So kudos to everybody that did the work, and I'm grateful for all of that, and know that you had long hours, because it wasn't something that just ended at 5 o'clock. So I was very pleased to see our trucks moving around. It really made me feel like I knew we were taking care of business. So thank you to everybody there. As we move on down, we do have an executive session this morning. It will last approximately 30 minutes. It is in regards to, we're going to say, negotiation aspects for union contracts, but I am going to leave it up to legal to give us the absolute according to the RCW, because as I've always generally stated, you leave it to an elected, we will go south. So with that being said, I will look to our legal counsel, Ms. Jordan Stevens, up there on the wall. She can read all of the legal aspects to what we are trying to accomplish. And of course, there would be no decision to follow. But with that, it is yours.
Okay, so the Lake Stevens Sewer District Commission will now move into executive session pursuant to RCW 4230-140 subsection 4 subsection A for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining negotiations. The executive session is expected to last for 30 minutes. At the conclusion of the executive session, there is no expected action to be taken.
Perfecto. So we'll just wait for the recording to stop and then we can get started. Would be knowing is cool.
This conference will now be recorded.
Well, good morning, folks. We're back in regular session. This is the Board of Commissioners for Lake Stevens Sewer District. We're going to go ahead and extend until 10 a.m. due to the ongoing, conversation that is going on. So again, no decision to follow once we do return back to regular session at 10 a.m. and then we'll conclude our meeting. So thank you for your patience.
This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Well, good morning, everybody. The Board of Commissioners is back in regular session. It is just prior to 10 a.m., but as usual, there is still no, decision to follow in regards to what we have done. So we are just in regular session with the final piece of business to conclude this fine meeting. So I would look to the fellow commissioners if there's any
Make a motion to adjourn.
motion. And
I'll second.
second. With that being said, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Take care, y'all. Appreciate you.
Aye.